think Hormozi said this, if you could not get any more clients besides from referrals, how would you deliver for your current clients? And that's how you should be delivering for them.
Welcome to the NeverEmployed Chat. My name is Sam and I interview people who make a living beyond salary jobs, entrepreneurs, business owners and investors, so that we can learn from their stories together. There are many great ways to make a living and even more ways to wealth. At NeverEmployed, we encourage you to think of alternatives to employment jobs. What would you do if a salary job was simply no option? In your Twitter bio, you also say that you're a future gym owner. So how long until your first gym?
Yeah, man. So the goal is by the time I'm 25, I'm 23 right now. So I got just under 2 years or around 2 years. Just been like traveling, trying to figure out like where the best place for that would be. Thinking like Costa Rica or Mexico. But yeah, no, I definitely want to like by the point I want to open the gym. I want to be at the point with my coaching business where I do not care if it loses, 5,000, 10,000 a month. Because how I see it is like, building a gym, starting that out, it's profit margins aren't really there. And I know people who like that's their sole source of income and it's tough, right? You need the equipment, memberships, rent, all that stuff. And I don't want to build a gym and need it to be profitable. I want to build it and just like focus on doing it exactly how I want to do it. And just like a cool place, cool culture, place to film content, a place to train, and not necessarily be too focused on profits. And then, if it comes to a point where, okay, I want to scale it, open multiple branches, I'll do that. But definitely just want like a place where I could, train, have fun.
Talking about your current coaching business, what is this about?
Yeah, man. So I work with entrepreneurs and I help them with their sleep, health, performance, all that stuff. It's very like unique. So, some clients, they want to, gain weight, build muscle. Some want to lose fat. Some want to do a bit of both. Some have really poor sleep. Some already have decent sleep, just want to improve it a bit. And yeah, it's very like individual. And eventually, in the next couple months, we'll be moving more towards like a group coaching. But for right now, I'm enjoying the one-on-one.
How did you originally start this whole thing? Or in general, how was your personal journey and how did this then evolve into the coaching business?
I played, sports all my life, played college tennis, got ranked professionally. And when I was 15, 16, or 16, sorry, went to tennis academy full time to get recruited to play college tennis. And like one of my coaches, when we were doing a drill, was like, bro, like your overhead, your smash, it's like a shot. Like it's really weak, bro. Like you need to start hitting the gym. And the funny thing is I already started lifting at that time. So like, fuck. So it took like a huge hit to my ego. And then I started just like going to the gym, fell in love with it, started talking to a bunch of like strength coaches, personal trainers, doing research in class. And, just started getting more into it. Obviously, I made a bunch of like mistakes when starting out. And then by the time I was like 20, 21, like made a pretty decent transformation. So my friends started reaching out to me like, hey man, can you help me out with this? Can you help me out with that? I would love doing that. I'll just build them out some free programs, help them out, and it's cool. And then I helped my younger brother get absolutely jacked. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is pretty fun. Like, pretty good at this. Let me see if I can make a real business out of it. And I always knew that I didn't want to work a 9 to 5 because I had internships, but I just didn't really like it for multiple reasons. And I tried 4 businesses before, but I kind of was just doing it only for like the idea of a business as opposed to actually wanting to build something real. And then during my last year of college, I was like, all right, last semester, let me go back to, Twitter, because the last business I failed was affiliate marketing on Twitter. And I made one sale for $25 in 3 months. And I quit. And I was like, this sucks. And I came back and I was like, all right, let me rebrand from an affiliate marketing account. I had like 100 followers, so it was fine, to like a fitness account, right? And I did a thread, switched the type of stuff I would put out. And no one really cared for a couple months, but then I started getting some traction. And then I when I hit 500 followers, I did like a tweet, which was like, oh, thank you guys for, 500 followers. As a thank you, I want to train 3 of you guys for free for 1 month. Just, like and retweet this and then, DM me what's your reason, right? And I thought like 20, 25 people would message me, but exactly 3 did. So I was like, damn. And then one of them was slightly older, it's like 40-ish, and he like maybe stuck to 30% of the program for a month, so he didn't really see much progress. One of them was 16, 17, and then he saw some progress, but after the month, his mom didn't let him continue. And then one of them was 23, 24, and a finance CPA or accountant, and he saw great progress. in 1 month, he already gained a lot of muscle, strength, and everything. So then he became my first paid client, like 3-4 months in. This was around 2 years ago. And then, increased the price a little bit, slowly started to figure things out, improve the service, that kind of thing, put more content out. And yeah, man, it's been good since then.
So on one hand, you already had this like fitness and sports exercising thing in your DNA already, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've
Yeah,
been
man.
doing this for, always, basically.
Kind of, yeah. And I knew I like would want to incorporate that into business if I could, but like I think one of the main limiting beliefs for me, which is why I didn't like start sooner, was I was like, too skinny, or like you got to be absolutely jacked to get started. But I was like, you know what, like you don't really have to. Like I can still like help a lot of people, and I already did. Like, all right, let me just see what happens, put out some content. I told myself like I would tweet every day, or schedule tweets for every day for 6 months, without even giving myself the option to like quit or see if it's legit. And then after 6 months, I think I had already like 4 or 5 clients, which isn't too much or anything, but I was like, okay, if I could get a few clients in 6 months, and I'll be in a good place in 3 to 4 years. So then I just kept going.
So did you then only do this like tweeting thing, or did you also
No.
reach out to people directly?
For sure, man. So definitely did a bunch of stuff. So mainly most of my clients came from inbound, so they just reach out to me from Twitter. But also I reach out to people who I would see like engaging with my stuff, people who were like pretty, active, who I'd see a lot. Or just people who like fit under my, ideal client. And I was like, starting conversations with them. And then, started an email newsletter, like an email list. That was really fun. I actually really enjoyed it. And started like, posting some short form video content as well. Yeah, definitely Twitter is like the main thing, like the foundation.
So you started with some free clients, and
Yeah,
I guess you got some testimonials from them early on,
exactly.
right? And that's
Yeah.
you build on that, man.
100%. Like I was getting, I'd also offer like free consultation calls
Yeah,
for testimonials. So I'd reach out to people with like decent sized audiences, few thousand,
yeah.
and like, who looked really credible. And I already had a relationship with these people. I'd be like, yeah, man, like I'll, hop on, have, 1 hour call with you, free call. I'll, help you with ABC, give you a blueprint. And then if it's valuable, and only if, then, just give me it'd be cool if you give me a testimony, right? And I probably got like, they bring 15 of those, 20 of those, save them in like a document. And then, yeah, like, even the 3 free clients, like they gave me some testimonials as well. And yeah, man, I think that was like super key, because at the start, it's like you don't have any credibility, you don't have any reason for people to want to work with you, right? So you kind of have to like force that. And then the sooner you get over that hump, like the better it is.
Yeah, so would you say that in the beginning it's crucial to offer free services when
Mm.
you start a business?
Oh, 100%. I would say that's like the fastest way. And the truth is, like, people don't respect free, right? If you give someone like a free course or free something, they're probably not going to take action on it unless they're like a really proactive person, really disciplined, right? So you got to kind of like expect, okay, if I give my free services to 10 people, probably 7 of them aren't really going to put it to use. But let me just try to over deliver for all 10, and maybe I can get 3. Then you get 3 testimonials, and maybe you can start with low ticket, right? And just kind of build up for them, build up from there. But yeah, man, I definitely think, especially if you're struggling to get paid clients, like there's nothing wrong with, doing some work for free. It'll save you the time, it'll give you credibility faster. And yeah, you can even do the thing where it's like you offer a free 1 hour consult call. That's probably like easiest. And most people are more willing to do that than actually coach someone for free for a month.
Did you already had this long-term vision right from the beginning, or how did this
Kind of
evolve?
did, man. I kind of did. Because I was like, so I had the other 4 businesses, right, that failed. And I had a vision with that, but the vision with that only involved like the end outcome and like the success or whatever.
Uh,
Traveling the world, doing whatever. But then the vision with like my finished business was very clear. It was like, okay, I'm going to just have a bunch of successful clients. Then I'm going to, open up a gym, then have a few brands, blah, blah, blah. I was like, this sounds super cool, super doable. And like, I know I'm starting pretty early. So like, I don't see why it wouldn't happen. So then it honestly was pretty clear from the start. Obviously, when you're starting, you kind of need some like delusional confidence or delusional belief, because it doesn't make sense that you believe that. But I feel like when you feel it, then you're just like, you just gotta go, and just like you justify the belief later on, right?
would you then say that your businesses before did fail partly because you didn't really believe in them?
Yeah, man, I see that for sure. It's like, and also just it wasn't right. Like I could have made those businesses work for sure, but there was no way it was gonna scale to like, where I want to scale these.
Uh, And then how do you think about like long working hours and like spending much time in your business? How's that for you? How much time did you spend on your businesses and how much
Yeah,
time do you spend nowadays?
for sure. And it's honestly funny because I actually like realized at the start I wasn't spending nearly enough time. I thought I was spending a lot of time, but I really wasn't. I wasn't like putting time like on the stuff that matters. And it's like I don't get mad at that because I know that I didn't know any better at the time. That's like it's part of it. But I'd say I started my last semester of school as a student athlete as well. I stopped going to class because I had to prioritize my business. So probably say like maybe 3 hours a day at the start. Then it went up to 4 to 5. And it kind of stayed there. And then, recently, let's say over the last 6 months, 5 hours is like the bare minimum, just because, I'll be on calls, 3, 4 calls a day. So that already, just when you have more clients, you have to, work more. So I'd say it was always a minimum of 3 hours a day and then maximum of, let's say, 10.
You said on average like 5 hours?
Yeah, that was maybe like in the middle. Right
Yeah.
now, on average, is probably like 7 to 8.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's for a like your own self-employment business. That's quite reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad at all. I mean, that's like 8 hours, 7, 8 hours, like unproductive stuff. It's not just like, checking
Yeah.
TikTok or whatever every 30 minutes. Like that's like it's like pretty much like fully focused. Probably, let's say 3 hours are on calls and then like 1 hour, 2 hours, delivering for clients, 1 hour of like high level thinking, and then, a couple hours of content, a couple hours of pending tasks.
Makes sense. So you said a little bit about how many people you coach, but do you also talk about the cost and the revenue of your business? Do you have like a certain revenue which you can say right now?
Yeah. So it's in terms of like monthly,
Mm-hmm.
it is in the low 5 figures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then in terms of like profit margins are pretty high, like not over 90%.
So you work on subscription basis, like
So it depends. So I
okay.
offer, upfront. So you can pay for, let's say, 3 to 6 months or a year upfront, or you could go by like monthly.
Yeah.
We see like I incentivize, people to commit for 3, 6 months or a year, just because, the more committed you are, the better results you're going to be. So yeah, but I still try to, obviously cater to people in different situations, but definitely not a cheap service.
Mm-hmm. I think this fitness field is basically perfect for subscription based business
No,
models,
no,
isn't it? Because you expect people to have like results in the long run, and of course
exactly,
it's beneficial for you and for your clients.
exactly. And that was funny because I actually had a client who recently started working with me like 3, 4 months ago. And then first I was like, yeah, this much for, 3 months. And then he was like, like I'm going to do this, but I do offer monthly installments. So I was like, yeah, we do. Boom, that's how much it is for a month. And he was like, okay, cool, let's do it. And he was like, I'm actually really happy you offer monthly installments because that's a sign that you're like confident in your biz and like your service. I was like, yeah, I never really thought about it. Like he couldn't do the upfront payment, but he wanted to do the monthly installments. Now he asked me, do you have monthly installments? I'm like, yes, right? He did that, and he was like, it's a sign that you're confident in your service, and it's like a good service if you offer monthly because you know that they will stay on.
So I'd say from my point of view, you're quite successful compared to many other people who try to do some coaching business. What makes you making money while other people don't make money or aren't successful with their
So are you
coaching
talking
business or
about like specifically fitness coaching or just any type of coaching?
whatever you can answer better,
Okay,
maybe?
fair. So I think in terms of like fitness coaching, one is a lot of people, they offer a very basic service, whether
Yeah.
it's just like training, nutrition, accountability. And because of that, they charge like low ticket, the low
Yeah.
prices. So if they have need a lot of clients, right? I'd say that's like a fundamental thing. Like the better your services, the more you actually like analyze your clients, talk to the best ones, talk to the ones who struggle, ask them for feedback, trying to make your service as best as you possibly can, actually care about your clients, fast communication, and, just like work with different types of people, right? And then also like make notes of themes, right? Let's say, you notice a few of your clients, they eat out a lot. So what do? You create a thing where it's like you have them send you their favorite restaurants, and then you tell them, okay, eat this, eat that, and give them guidelines based on their goals. So that's something I implemented. Also, we track our sleep with the Oura Ring. That's something that we implemented. And we actually don't track calories whatsoever. So I don't see many people doing that. So number one is just have a really good service that gets results, and then charge, a good amount for it, right? You don't want to be charging low prices, because if you charge low prices, then they're not going to be as invested. You don't get better results, and it makes your business hard because you have to constantly be getting new clients, right? So I'd say that's like a fundamental thing. And then I would say another thing, this is more for like general business, but like willingness to, invest in coaches, invest in softwares, invest in, mentors, invest in anything, teams that will expedite the process to get to where I want to be, right? Because it's like, even when I was just starting out, I would happily spend, 80, 90% of my bank account balance on a coach. And I was like, fine. I was like, all right, this guy knows more than me. He's been doing this more than I have. He has these case studies. He's got these results. Let's do it. I really wouldn't I'm a pretty easy person to close. I'm not the kind of guy who's like, oh yeah, I need time to think about it. Give me a week. I was like, okay, this makes sense. Let's do it. I think a lot of people, they're just scared, right? Because it's like, if you invest in something, you don't make it work, then you kind of feel shitty. You're like, fuck. But if you have that mindset, then it's gonna be really tough to really make your business grow. But if you're the kind of person who's like, if this makes sense from an ROI perspective, from let's say 3 to 5 years, if I'm gonna get more out of this and the investment over the long term, I'm gonna do it, right? And then you start. Obviously, like some coaches or some mentors won't be the most valuable, but it's like then you'll quickly find the one that changes everything for you, right? As opposed to if you're very timid and you're like, no, I did this once before, it didn't work, so I'm never gonna try again. Right? I feel like a lot of fitness coaches, they're very scared to invest in their own biz and invest in their own learning and invest in their own growth. And that's just like a common trend I see. So I'd say both those two things are like the main thing. And then maybe a third one would be like understanding about who their client is, right? It's like your client doesn't want to see you talk about the super advanced fitness stuff, right? They don't care. They don't care like which exact angle is the best angle to engage your pecs. Like they don't care, right? They care, how do I make this easy? How do I make this fun? How can I eat my favorite foods? How can I get a good workout in 25 minutes? And that's what they want, right? And it's like, you just got to give them what they want. And then also, if you have a bit of personality, it helps too. So I would say those are the main differentiators, those three.
What would you say about niching down? You're very focused on entrepreneurs and you're focused on high ticket clients basically, right?
For sure. So I think, having some niche is, important. You got to have something. It doesn't have to be super laser focused. You need something. And I tried a bunch of niches, right? And I feel like you don't want to get too tied. You don't want to, because it's not an irreversible decision. If you go with a niche and you don't like it, you can just switch. It's easy. I tried a bunch of niches. I tried Indian American dads. I tried, skinny fat guys. I tried, young hustlers. I tried, a bunch of different busy professionals, a lot of different things, right? And then I got to the point of like, okay, just high performing entrepreneurs and keep it simple. It works. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think the important thing when picking a niche is, number one, they have to be someone who values your service and actually needs it, right? And it makes sense for them. Number two, they have to be easily identifiable. You actually have to be able to find them and locate them, right? Number three would be, you know how to provide value to them and you know how to speak their language and you think you'll just get along with them. I think if you have those three, it's going to be a pretty good, choice.
If there maybe people who are just getting started with some kind of business, do you have any other tips how to get started with finding a niche or whatever? Or finding clients even?
Yeah. So, we said earlier, right? Work for free. So work for free is number one. Number two would just be start conversations, right? Because at the start, you can't expect your clients to find you. You just reach out to people. If you reach out 1,000 people, you get at least 50 responses, right? Even if your messages are horrible. On those 50, you can hop on 5 calls. On those 5 calls, you can work with 2 people. It's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's just reach out to people. Don't be afraid to start conversations, break the numbers down, and also over deliver for your first couple of clients. The first two are the hardest, right? If you get take the longest time to go from 0 to 2 clients and 2 to 4, 4 to 6, or 8 to 10. So when you get your first 2 clients, make sure you over deliver like crazy for them. Because if you don't, then you won't have any testimonials or you won't get referrals, and you have to start that process again from 0. But if you go for the first 2 and you go crazy hard, over deliver, you make sure they get great results. You do more than you think you need to do, right? And let's say they're not the most cooperative people in the world. You don't want to be like, oh, he's just a tough client, because then you're taking it out of your control. You're going to be like, okay, he's not the easiest guy to work with, but let me try to just like over deliver anyway. Let me look at what he's struggling with and let me make that not a struggle, right? And then if you do that, if you can get 2 clients without any testimonials, think about how easy it will be to get clients when you do have 2 testimonials.
Would you say that it's really that way easier when you have testimonials to get more clients?
100%, man, because at the end of the day, it's like half of your, competition or half of the players in the game, they don't even have testimonials, right? So it's like if you do, it's like it's proof of concept. And the thing is, what you can do is you can leverage those for the rest of your life. So what I mean by this is, it's actually a bonus if you can try to get high-level people as testimonials. So when I mean high-level, I mean someone with like, you look in their bio and you're like, all right, this dude's legit. Professional, headshot, cool banner, CEO of this company, 3 million sales generated, whatever. Like a legit guy. You have a testimonial from one of those guys, you can leverage it amazingly, because you can just be like, oh, I've worked with, dozens of entrepreneurs to help them achieve ABC, and then you tag them. And then in your messaging, now it's a lot more perceived credibility. The response rates go up, right? And then also, when you're dealing with someone, or talking to someone, or prospecting, someone who was in a similar position or has something in common, one of your testimonials, you just reference that. And they're like, oh shit, this guy's legit. As opposed to no testimonials, they have no reason to believe you. Because think about it, it's like, imagine like asking someone to, hop on a call with a stranger, Zoom call, right? That's already a big step for them. Let's say they hop on the call and they're like, okay, your program sounds good, I like this. Where are your testimonials? And you're like, I don't have any, man. You're done. They're not going to work with you. So it's like the first thing that you got to do. And even just like written testimonials. Ideally, you have a before and after, you have sleep stats, you have some cool stuff. Even just a written testimonial or something.
That's really cool. Is there any other skills you learned during your coaching journey which you'd like to know earlier?
I guess like the importance of like service delivery, because I always like try to over deliver and communicate fast, one of my clients to get results, but I only realized recently like to what extent you can keep improving your service, right? So I feel like the faster you get to the understanding of like, I think Hormozi said this, but he said something along the lines of, if you could not get any more clients besides from referrals, how would you deliver for your current clients, right? And that's how you should be delivering for them.
Yeah, that's really powerful, actually. That's cool quote.
Yeah, man. Hormozi's the GOAT, man. I got like half of my quotes are from him.
I mean, yeah, especially in your niche, fitness field also. So,
yeah, exactly. He's like all of us look up to him big time, especially like how he started and where he is now. It's crazy.
Yeah. So you're planning to go the Hormozi route, actually?
Like not exactly the same route, but like definitely want to be like in 5-10 years, like kind of where he is right now or similar, right?
Yeah, nice. So then apart from your gym in 2025, right? Do you have any other future plans?
Probably gonna do like a business coaching kind of thing. Like eventually like in 2-3 years. And then, start a few like fitness brands, like a protein chip brand, clothing brand, but that all comes later down the line. Definitely like that. It's easy to get distracted and be like, oh, this is fun, like this is cool, but like gotta stick to the game plan, one thing at a time.
And then is there anything, any way people may help you currently with any challenges or so?
It's a good question. I would say no, man. I got all the help that I could have right now. I got like a really good coaching team. Team's pretty solid. No real issues, man.
Cool. And if people think that they may help you in some way, where can they find you best?
For sure, man. So I'm mainly on Twitter at the Coach Raj, but also you can find me on Instagram and YouTube. Same username at the Coach Raj.
Well, and thank you for taking the time.
Of course, I appreciate you, Sam.
Thank you for taking part in this NeverEmployed Chat. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interviews with business owners and investors, or simply listen to the audio version in your favorite podcast directory. Make sure to follow me on all your preferred social media platforms, so that you never miss life-changing business tips. You find me on every platform with the account name samhartmann.com. Start a business, become successful, and tell me about it. See you next time.